For our next point of education, we will continue reviewing closeouts on jump shots, but we will shift our focus to contact made to the shooter's hand, wrist, or arm. This first play is an example of a defensive foul as the defensive player, Ayo Dosunmu, makes illegal contact to the arm of the shooter, Steph Curry, after the ball is released. Dosunmu contests the shot, but he then makes a secondary movement as he pushes through the arm of Curry. This type of contact is clearly more than marginal, and it was correctly called a defensive foul. Watch the contact on the next play closely. The defensive player, Jabari Smith Jr., makes illegal contact to the wrist area of the shooter, Mike Conley, after the ball is released on the shot attempt. When attempting to block a shot, defenders can contest legally at a vertical level, but they are in danger of committing a defensive foul if they make a secondary movement, such as a swipe to his opponent's wrist, as Smith does here. Note that after the shooter releases the ball, contact to the shooter's hand, wrist, or arm can be deemed legal, provided that the contact is incidental. Another example of a defensive foul committed to the hand, wrist, or arm of an offensive shooter can be seen here. The highlighted defensive player, Zaire Williams, makes illegal contact to the hands of the shooter, Kyle Filipowski, after the ball is released by making a secondary movement, pushing with both of his hands through Filipowski's hands. This secondary act by Williams is more than marginal contact, and a defensive foul was correctly called here. Focus on the contact between the contesting defender and the shooter on this next play. The defensive player, Isaac Jones, contests the shot by the offensive player, Tristan De Silva, but Jones makes a secondary motion after the initial contest by swiping through the hand of the shooter after the ball is released. This is illegal contact by Jones, and a defensive foul will be called this season on this type of contact. The final play in this section will show an example of contact by a defender made to a shooter's hand, wrist, or arm that could be deemed flagrant. The defensive player, Dylan Brooks, makes obvious illegal contact to the arm of the shooter, Brandon Miller, after the ball is released on the shot attempt. We can see the secondary movement by Brooks as he swings his arm at Miller's arm, and we can also see that there is a wind-up, impact, and follow-through with the swipe, and that the contact can clearly be defined as unnecessary. This type of contact on a secondary motion by a defender contesting a shot is illegal, and a flagrant foul can and may be called on this type of play. Now, let's look at some examples of legal contact to a shooter's hand, wrist, or arm after a shot has been released. The highlighted defensive player here, Zeke Naji, makes legal incidental contact to the hand of the shooter, Benedict Matherin, after the ball has been released on the three-point field goal attempt. Naji makes a competitive play at the point of release. He does not commit any secondary movements, and the contact to the shooter's hand is incidental. Again, this is a legal play, and no foul should be called on a play such as this. Let's review another example of contact to a shooter's hand, wrist, or arm after a shot has been released that would not be called a foul. The highlighted defensive player here, Javonte Green, makes legal, incidental contact to the hand of the shooter, Jason Tatum, after the ball has been released on the three-point field goal attempt. Green makes a competitive play at the point of release. He does not commit any secondary movements, and the contact to the shooter's hand is incidental. A defensive foul was initially called on this play, but it was correctly overturned to a no call after a coach's challenge. The last area to cover in this section is contact made to a shooter's hand, wrist, or arm that occurs before a shot is released. Here, the defensive player, Gabe Vincent, makes contact to the arm of the offensive player, Buddy Hield, who is in the act of shooting, and Hield has not yet released the ball. This is a defensive foul on Vincent, and it was correctly called by the slot official. Another example of illegal contact committed by a defensive player with the offensive player in the act of shooting can be seen here. The defensive player, Jalen Williams, makes contact to the arm of the offensive player, Pascal Siakam, before Siakam has released the ball on the shot attempt. Again, This is illegal contact, and a defensive foul needed to be called on this play.